There's something you need to hear, sweetheart, but I need you to listen until the end, please. He frowned. I took a deep breath and began to tell him everything. How I found him, how the truth came out, how the man he called dad wasn't the one who lied, but the man standing right in front of us. When I handed him the DNA results, his expression shifted, disbelief first, then confusion, then something darker. He looked between us, at me, then at the man who raised me in lies. So this means you're my real parents? Tears were streaming down my face. I couldn't say a word. He threw the phone on the floor and started shouting, you think this makes sense? You show up now and say you're my mother. You left me all those years, you let me grow up thinking I was nothing, you lied to me. I can't believe you sold me for money, you both never wanted me. I was crying so hard, I tried to explain but he never listened. I said that it wasn't me, that his father lied to us both. But he couldn't hear me anymore. He turned toward my husband, rage burning in his eyes. My husband tried to speak, but Jemmy pushed him back hard, telling him that he stole his life and he will never forgive him. He was so angry and broken that he punched the wall, broke the table and started beating himself. He said that he couldn't stay here, that he couldn't even breathe in this house. Before I could stop him, he stormed out slamming the door. The silence that followed was unbearable. I dropped to my knees sobbing. The house felt emptier than ever. He never came back. We searched everywhere, his school, his adoptive parents' house, his favorite spots, but no one had seen him. Every night, I sat by the window, waiting. Every sound outside made my heart jump, hoping it was him, but it never was. Until one morning, I heard the door open softly. When I turned, he was there, standing in the doorway, eyes red, face pale. He looked so lost. I didn't think, I just ran to him, throwing my arms around him. He didn't hug me back at first. He just stood there, stiff and silent, then in a shaky voice. He said that it doesn't make sense, that none of this makes sense. Tears filled my eyes. I told him that he was right, that he had every reason not to believe or to forgive me. He looked down, his voice was barely audible. I know the truth now, he said. The man who adopted me told me everything, how my real father sold me to pay his debts. I didn't want to believe it at first, but I do now. And then for the first time he stepped closer and hugged me tight like a child who finally found his way home. So I have a brother and sister? He asked. I nodded, smiling through tears, and before I could even call them, they came running from the hallway. Their eyes were wide with confusion and hope. They didn't say a word, they just threw their arms around him, and the three of them stood there crying. Later that night, after everyone was asleep, I made a decision that I no longer want to live with that liar. I was going to divorce him and sue him, but Chris asked me not to. After all what he did to him, he had mercy in his heart. I went to my husband and told him I want a divorce and I no longer want to live with him. He nodded, tears in his eyes. The next morning, I filed for divorce. After that, my husband, or let's say my ex-husband left. I didn't know where he go but I didn't care. Chris slowly learned to trust again. He laughed more, stayed longer, helped around the house. He even started calling me mom. It was the happiest moment in my entire life. 2 years later, Chris is sitting at the kitchen table, helping his brother doing homework while his sister baked cookies with me, something I never thought I'd see. He changed so much. By the end of the summer he'll go back to college, to study psychology. He said he wanted to understand why people break and how to help them heal. Sometimes I'd catch him smiling at old family photos, not the ones from before, but the new ones we've taken together.